Time to step up. Time to show up. Time to be a history maker. Green, 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 off we go, and Hugo Ukachukwu and Gabriel Gomez get a terrific start. Gomez will tiptoe to the first corner. Good start from Pedersen. He has to back out behind Gomez as Camara storms forward. He's going to try and get into third position. A little bit of a nudge on the back bumper of Gomez, but he should be able to squeak through into third position. He does. Now round the outside, he tucks in a second. Camara comes through into second place ahead of Tuukka Tarppanen. What starts from Camara and Tarppanen? Absolutely exceptional from both of them.
And here we go for the final of the OK class. A great start as well. A couple of drivers out of the race.
That's Gomez being stuck out wide. So Gomez has lost about 8 places. He goes wide on the rumble strip. So Kamara's through in a second behind Ukachukwu. Third place Tarppanen. And Caluccio has come forward into fourth, battling with Arvid Lindblad.
Yeah, what a disastrous turn of event for Gabriel Gomez, who had such a great start up into second. Now this is his fellow countryman Camara in second, trying to chase already Hugo Ukachukwu further back to number 20. This is Luigi Caluccio fighting along already as the drivers try to find the racing line. The best of it coming to turn number 14. We're about to conclude the first lap under the leadership of your pole sitter Hugo Ukachukwu, under the pressure of Rafael Camara. Can he go around the inside? A bit of a wheel touching.
Oh
there he goes
goodness!
through.
He's got him. He's got him at the end of the first lap. And Rafael Camara takes the lead of the World Championship. Here comes Tuukka Tarppanen now, trying to make his bid on Ukachukwu. And Arvid Lindblad is chasing them down. We really have got the mother of all World Championship battles. This is absolutely incredible now. As Camara leads Ukachukwu, Tarppanen and Lindblad. You will not see a more spectacular World Championship played out anywhere in sport worldwide. You've got 4 of the kings of the sport, the most physically demanding form of motorsport in the world now, going to blows. Up the inside, Daniel Briz making some big moves, as here comes Caluccio on the inside of the Ward racing car. That's Norton Andreessen, as Daniel Briz shakes off Oscar Pedersen briefly, but Pedersen gets back in, and now Andreessen on the inside of Caluccio. Pedersen trying to squeak up the inside as well. Not going to happen. Tarppanen trying to go for Ukachukwu for second place. They bang wheels, and now Lindblad is going to get a run on the fin. Up to the inside, Tarppanen squeaks across, but Camara is already stretching his legs.
Yeah, Camara extending his lead, half of a second on Hugo Ukachukwu. Under the pressure of Tuukka Tarppanen, Lindblad back in the mix as well. We're going to have a 4-driver battle right now. Arvid Lindblad trying to go around the inside as Tarppanen slides a little bit into the last corners. Hugo Ukachukwu all to second place as Camara is pulling away already. That's not what the drivers need at the moment, to have the leader extending his gap and not being catchable for the rest of the race. The show is only getting started, but you can see that Camara is in his element at the moment. He had a tremendous start from the second row of the grid, and now there's no one stopping him. Watch out for Arvid Lindblad, number 3 from Car Republic, trying to catch up with Tuukka Tarppanen, clipping the curb a little bit onto turn number 6, but Tarppanen is having none of it and shuts the door, trying to catch up as well. Oh,
that's Morgado. That is Matthias Morgado in the Birillard. He's out of it. What a shame. The Brazilian has gone from the fray, and that is game over. He's trying to restart up at the final part of the course, but Matthias Morgado, that's at turn 1 actually, but Matthias Morgado sadly now down at the back of the field. You can see him in the background trying to restart, and by the look of it failing. Here comes Tarppanen right in behind Ukachukwu. Ukachukwu has been pretty much flawless all weekend, but now Tarppanen really stepping up the attack. Watch the fin. He's got so much time to do this. He's going to come from the wet karting line round the outside to squeak past Ukachukwu on the exit. Brilliant from Tuukka Tarppanen. Now we've got game on as he chases after Camara.
And he's just turning to Ukachukwu. Stay with me. Don't attack quite yet. We need to catch up with Camara with 1 second advantage. The Brazilian maybe is in a good place to pull away. And those 3 have to work together, even though they're going to have to wait maybe to the later stages of this race. Look at the gap already that Camara has been able to pull. 1.1 second, taking advantage of the battle between those 3. The Tarppanen is up in second place. We have Ukachukwu, Lindblad, Caluccio down in 5th. From Norton Andreasen, then Oscar Pedersen, Severyukin, Christian Batuka, and Daniel Briz running at the top 10. I was actually looking at classification for Gabriel Gomez, the young Brazilian, who tumbled down the order to 23 in the classification. Such a disastrous final, unfortunately, for the CRG driver, who was surprised and pushed a little bit outside of the opening lap. And then he just lost momentum after momentum, and place after place. He's down to 23rd. Unfortunately for him, really not a good start for him.
In the top 3, we are riding the crest of history. Rafael Camara leading the way, could well become the first Brazilian world champion since Augusto Ribas back in 1986 at Jacksonville in the United States. That is such a long time ago. no Finn has ever won the World Championship in direct drive karting, and no American has ever won the World Championship in direct drive karting. So this is big history on the rise for any of the top 3 drivers if they can hold it together. And look at Tarpanen. He's really raining down on Camara's Parade. He really is giving him plenty to do, and he's getting that gap down as Camara leads. Tarpanen is chipping away, and that's Arvid Lindblad. Lindblad gets the move on his teammate Hugo Chukwu. Lindblad is still in this World Championship fight.
Yeah, you could feel that actually. Hugo Chukwu was not as fast as Arvid Lindblad as they lapped just before, as Lindblad was 0.3 of a second fast in the last lap to Hugo Chukwu. And there's his response. He had to go through, otherwise he would have lost too much time on Tarpanen, getting close to Rafael Camara. The Tarpanen, the fastest in this race in 1 minute 16, nothing compared to what we had in qualifying dry conditions. The Tarpanen on a very strong drive, 0.3 down, is really much on Camara now. Here they are, the 2 leaders into turn number 10. He's going to launch his attack on the return straight. Watch out for the move coming up. He's missing a couple of meters, maybe Tarpanen. There he goes through on the inside.
No way! No way! He comes from a million miles back and gets the lead of this World Championship. Tuka Tarpanen out in front of Rafael Camara. Absolutely magnificent. He could be about to give Tony Kart back-to-back World Championships. Callum Bradshaw did it last year. Tarpanen leads the way this year, and he could become the first man from Finland ever to win the FIA Karting World Championship in direct drive.
And this is one step further that Tarpanen finished last year's World Championship in the junior class. He was vice champion 2 Fridays later, let's not forget that. And now look at the pace he's being able to put, the progress he's been through in one season. To cut Tarpanen on his way to lead the charge for the Tony Kart Racing team for the years to come, that's for sure. But Tarpanen is your new leader of the OK World Championship here in Campillos. But now, let's focus as well on behind what's going to happen. Rafael Camara dropping a bit of momentum, 0.6 down already. He's feeling the pressure on his neck from Arvid Lindblad, the British driver who's been neck to neck with Rafael Camara all throughout the season against the likes of Kimi Antonelli, who's been missing this year's World Championship to his great despair. But right now, Camara, Lindblad, another showdown for second place. Can they actually work together? Lindblad is going through. Lindblad is taking second place in turn number 11. Upper place for Arvid Lindblad. The chase is on. He is still a lot of time before a checkered flag, but nothing to lose. And he went through, dived on the inside of Camara. And now we're going to have a beautiful showdown for the next laps.
Arvid Lindblad in a second position. The British driver now chasing after Tuka Tarpanen. He is so good in these conditions, Arvid Lindblad. This is why Red Bull put their money behind him and said, yep, you're the serious one. You're the real deal. We're going to push you forward. And Arvid Lindblad has had a season of difficulty, a season of tough, hard knocks. He's always been the bridesmaid, never the bride, but maybe today, maybe this is the moment for Arvid Lindblad to storm the Crows and grab a World Championship title. Look at Luigi Caluccio all over the back of Hugo Chukwu as he climbs up the hill. Is he going to do the dance of death round the outside and cut through to the inside line through the switch? Hugo Chukwu a little bit wobbly through the curbs, but Kamara's losing ground here, and this is going to be Hugo Chukwu's move on the inside. Lovely job, and Caluccio might have space down the hill to get through as well. He does.
Yeah, and Rafael Camara is nowhere in pace. What's happening to the young Brazilian who had such a strong start of the race after his start and the opening laps? He was leading, and now he's tumbling down the order in 5th place, the Brazilian. So maybe something to do with the tires as well. Let's see if his machinery is going to be back into pace as well, if he can climb through the ranks once again. But for that, he needs to stay within the shadow of Luigi Caluccio. But great to see the young Italian back at the forefront of the World Championship. Let's not forget, he finished on the podium of this very competition a couple of years ago. He was with Birlart in Kristianstad in 2018. He's climbed through the ranks of karting, but there he goes through on Hugo Chukwu. Oh, that was close, but the young American is shutting the door. This is the battle for the podium. Let's not forget that those two, if they want to catch up, or at least have another chance to catch up with Arvid Lindblad, who's pulling away just in front, those two are going to have to work with one another. But Hugo Chukwu doesn't seem to have the pace to take and to lead Luigi Caluccio, closing up on Arvid Lindblad. So the Italian's going to have to do something about it. As in the meantime, Tuka Tarpanen set the fastest lap in this race, 1.6 seconds now on Arvid Lindblad, with a bit less than 12 laps to go before the checkered flag. There's more than enough time for Arvid Lindblad to try to put qualifying lap after qualifying lap, and it's all down to Tuka Tarpanen to do the same as well. But there's going to be a battle from a distance, but the gap is extending at the moment.
It's going to be very tricky because this race is now going to be about looking after the tires. This is about patience. This is about getting lap in after lap in after lap in. You've got to look after these tyres. The rain has stopped and the sky is clearing and they're all on wet tyres. So this now comes down to intelligence. This comes down to patience, mastercraft, tacticianary. You've got to be so disciplined now, because looking after these tyres is what's going to be the difference between you being on the podium and being out of the top 10. And it can happen in a couple of laps. Caluccio, with the experience behind Yuga Chukwu. Yuga Chukwu is still in his first season of senior, don't forget. He's backed by the McLaren Formula One program. Zach Brown speaks volumes of this young kid. But now Luigi Caluccio, with all that wealth of knowledge and experience behind him, is going to be pushing him like crazy as they continue their march through. This is not going to be easy to separate these two charges as we watch Rafael Camara lose ground to Christian Bratuka and Nikola Tsolov, and now he's on the march to lose more ground to Joe Turney. Something's not right for Camara as Turney dives through now. He gets the position, and that's Camara down to 9th. What a shame for Rafael Camara.
Yeah, that's rather painful to watch, unfortunately, for the young Brazilian who didn't seem in a position to fight back against Joe Turney, as is about to lose another place to the number 5. This is Artem Severukin going past the Brazilian, who's not resisting at all. So it seems, by the look of it, that he's having maybe a little problem with his tires. He's not particularly happy about the way his Car Republic machinery is functioning. But watch out for the help as we have the battle. The 66 about to lose a place. This is Joe Turney on Oscar Patterson, and just made that move stick beautifully from Joe Turney, the British driver, going up a place. As I think that Christian Bratuka made his way through as well on Oscar Patterson, losing 2 positions indeed. As you have confirmation, we have Bratuka now in 6th, Turney 7, Patterson down to 8 in front of Severukin, and Norton Andrensen making his way up into 10.
Oh, lovely from Turney as he duels with Bratuka. Bratuka gets him straight back on the switch, and so now Tarpanen leads the way by 3 seconds. And Rafael Camara is coming in. Rafael Camara's pitting. Rafael Camara's World Championship is over. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Rafael Camara was looking so good in the opening stages for the World Championship title. Something must be completely wrong with the kart. Maybe the reeds have gone in the engine or something along the lines of that. But for whatever reason, Rafael Camara's heroic fight in the World Championship is dead and buried. What a shame for the Brazilian. He was doing such a good job, and now he is out of it. Speaking of such a good job, the fastest man on track right now, Tuukka Tarpanen. He is stretching his legs out in front of Arvid Lindblad, and he is not going to win this race anything other than at 10/10 flat out.
Yeah, thinking about Rafael Camara, that must be hard for the young Brazilian, knowing that his European campaign as well came to an halt in Zuera. You might remember that for the conclusion of this year's championship, as he was on his way maybe to fight against Kimi Antonelli for the title, but an incident in the DNF in one of his heats actually put an end to his hopes. And once again here, this is, by the look of it, a mechanical failure that prevents him to even finish this race. So quite a disparate and very sad end of the season for Rafael Camara. Such a very nice boy to talk to. We had him on the interview a couple of times this weekend, but a talent for the years to come, that's for sure.
But let's look at this man, Tuukka Tarpanen. I mean, what a season he's had. Stepping out of junior last year, he was a contender for the European Junior Championship and the World Junior Championship. He was vice champion of the world last year in junior. And this season has been a really tough one for Tuukka Tarpanen. He's come away with a 13th at Genk, a 15th at Ornay-le-Bois, a disqualification at Sarno due to no fault of his own, and a 3rd place finish in Zuera. He's had a really tough season as the young Finn. He's really had to make or break his year, and it's been a tough character building season as here comes Caluccio on the inside of Yuga Chukwu to take 3rd position. Caluccio wants to wave the Italian flag on the podium here in the World Championship, and he's doing exactly what he needs to do to be there. But for Tuukka Tarpanen, this has been such a character-building year. He's really struggled through adversity. It finally came good in Zuera, a circuit that's been very kind to the Finn in the past. And this has been a weekend where he's just, again, taken his time. He's not been in a rush, very similar to Kiya Nakamura-Berta. He's just banged in the results. He's got better through the weekend, and he's let every opportunity come to him. And here he is ahead of Arvid Lindblad by 3.8 seconds with 8 laps to go. Tuukka Tarpanen is looking like a worthy and amazing world champion in waiting.
Yeah, there's nothing more dangerous than the driver keeping his card under his sleeve, isn't it? With the potential that we know, but not making too much noise. And as you said, banging the result one after the other. Oh, and a beautiful battle over there. And the 16, this is Giorgiani going around Christian Bertucca. This is a battle for 6. And now the British driver just made that stake in turn number 5. Bertucca made a bit of a mistake by the look of it, going around the outside a bit too wide, and that opened the door plentifully for Giorgiani. But Bertucca is back on the shadow, back on the tail of the British driver. That'll be a good duel, a good fight to keep an eye on as well for 6. As Tuukka Tapanen extending his lead 3.9 seconds. We didn't see this coming. Of course, there was way more than one contender to play for the win. The Tuukka Tapanen has been climbing to the ranks of the classification, heat after heat, you know, building on his results, building on confidence, and now he just gave the perfect drive, climbing 4 places in the opening stages, you know, putting himself in the front and extending what is a fantastic gap, pretty much like Freddie Slater did for the junior final, but this time around, once again, qualifying lap after qualifying lap, and more than 4 seconds on Arvid Lindblad. And Lindblad is noticeable as well. He's not even under pressure from Luigi Caluccio, so he's really pushing as well very hard to try to catch up. But despite that, Tapunen has been able to really maintain a distance.
I'm so impressed with this boy. Arvid Lindblad in 2nd position. He has not finished a final in this year's FIA karting season in the OK off the podium. He has not won a race in the final this year, but he's won countless heats and he's never been off the podium. Certainly one of Red Bull's best young karting representatives for many years, and he's definitely got the accolade and the ability to follow in the footsteps of the likes of Alex Albon, of Max Verstappen, of Pierre Gasly, of these incredible karters picked up by Red Bull in years gone by to surge their way up the ranks. And Arvid Lindblad is definitely looking like another one of those world superstars. It would not be child's play to consider him as a future Formula One talent.
Absolutely, and by the look of it, he is on his way to finish on the podium, which he didn't in last year's World Championship in Portimao. You might remember that on track, it was tail to tail with Freddie Slater all the way onto the line, and missed the victory onto the track, but due to a front fairing, was classified in the end at 4th place. But this time around, he might actually have a spread of champagne, which will be a well-deserved one, as you said, after a very strong season. He came 2nd to last year's European and World Championship in the junior class. This time, he's on his way to be another vice champion, so building on the results, building on the confidence, that's what he needs to do. But certainly for next season, there might be a big title coming his way.
Well, there's still 6 laps to go. There's still a few things that could change before the end of this race. Nikola Tsolov has worked his way gradually into 5th position ahead of Joe Turney, Christian Bertucca, Artem Severukin and Marcus Kayak. What a comeback from Marcus Kayak to be there in the top 10. Reuben Moyer is doing a fabulous job on home soil. 10th position. He started 30th. He is doing an amazing job here, and he will put a Spanish driver in the top 10 in their World Championship. He is even ahead of the 2016 World Champion Pedro Hiltbrand. That is an incredible drive from Reuben Moyer, and one that should not be ignored.
Yeah, absolutely right. And the Spanish drivers were the most represented here in Campillos, eager to shine on home soil. And some of them did very much, including Pedro Hiltbrand, but also beautiful Reuben Moyer with his strong 20-place recovery. On your picture, we're back with the leader. 5.3 seconds now on Arvid Lindblad. This is lap number 15 out of 19. He's really on a different planet at the moment, Tuukka Tapanen. I must be wondering what's going through his head right now, you know, as he's focusing with another fastest lap in the bag in front of Lindblad. What he must be thinking right now. He's focusing on what he needs to do, trying not to make any mistake, which he hasn't been making very much throughout the weekend. But does he? Of course, he can see on the board, on the start-finish straight, the laps decreasing. He can feel the checkered flag coming his way, getting near. But in the meantime, he has to stay focused. He has to stay composed, because he has to resist that excitement that must be growing under the helmet, knowing that he has a huge advantage, a huge gap that his mechanic has been telling him certainly since the start of this race. But now all he needs to do is to cruise and keep cruising that way. Cruise control mode pretty much for Tuukka Tapanen, but it's always easier said than done. But the conditions remain very slippery, even though it's been drying out on the racing line for the past few minutes. But he needs to stay focused on the job to do. He's just had a couple of laps left before the checkered flag to be crowned World Champion of 2021.
Hiva Tuukka, good boy. He is out in front, 4 laps clear of the rest of the field at the moment. 4 laps to go, I should say, but he's 6 seconds clear of Arvid Lindblad very nearly. There's Nikola Tsolov, still putting in a great job, the Bulgarian, on the Alonso Kart chassis. They will be top 5 if the Bulgarian keeps going as he is. but he is making inroads into Yuga Chukwu. The problem is that he's still got 2.3 seconds to make ground on the young man from New York. So he is doing his best, but it's been a very tough weekend, and this final has been very characteristic of the weekend as a whole. It's been tough, it's been unpredictable. Nobody who we thought would emerge at the top spot has really been able to come through and be as strong as we assumed they would be coming in. Tuukka Tarponen has been so quiet and so downcast all weekend. He said, nothing's going right. I'm not feeling this the way I feel. It's not going according to plan, and I just wish things were going better. Here he is, leading the World Championship final by 6 seconds. The quietest man in the FIA karting paddock is about to become the loudest.
Yeah, he's a young man of few words, like indeed one of his celebrating a very famous countryman.
Look at the Finnish flags in the stands here. There's a lot of people that have come here to support Tuukka Tarponen after what has been a phenomenal season for him. A lot of people have travelled now that we can have spectators again at these races. It's great to see them starting to return. Not everyone can make it, of course, with the difficulties of travel, but it's great to see the crowds back here in the FIA Karting World Championship and here in Campillos. Arvid Lindblad still pushing on. There's still a second place in the World Championship to be won. He's not slowing up.
I do wonder if Mr. Kimi Raikkonen is watching us right now, and he must be seeing, if he does, his young fellow countryman Tuukka Tarponen on his way to seal the world title. He's a very fond of karting, of course, Kimi Raikkonen, another famous man of few words, and when we see, of course, when we know the career has been through after starting from zero pretty much, Tuukka Tarponen might be certainly one of the names to keep an eye on for the years to come, maybe walking through the path of some of the famous Finnish drivers that we've had through the years. But there's been a tremendous drive as the checkered flag is getting near. Arvid Lindblad staying focused as well on the task. Second place on the way for him with a boulevard of advance on Luigi Caluccio. He's watching over his shoulder to make sure that he is very much on his own. Yes, he is into turn number 14. Caluccio, it's been a few years that we've seen Luigi Caluccio climbing through the ranks, trying to establish himself as the leader of the Cosmic Racing department. It hasn't been an easy task for Luigi Caluccio, who really impressed us all a few years back on the podium of the World Championship. There he is, Luigi Caluccio is back in full force, and that's a good sign for the next season and the years to come.
Yeah, he was third in the World Championship at Kristianstad in Sweden back in 2018 behind Lorenzo Travasanuto and Hannes Janka. Always a fighting force at the sharp end of the field, and you do get the sense that Luigi Caluccio is going to be yet another Davide Fore, Marco Ardigo, Paolo De Conto. He's got that sort of visionary history-making talent that could see him win many accolades in karting for many years to come. He's got that sort of vitality and vibrancy behind the wheel. He always knows how to get himself around problems. And earlier in the weekend, he looked as if he was down and out of it. But watch how he stormed his way back. Third position. It's a great drive from Caluccio.
A great drive indeed, very masterful, very in control of his fate, as he was able to pull away from Igor Guchukwu, himself in front of Nikola Tsolov. As for the rest of the classification, he hasn't moved very much, and you could feel...
But Tuukka goes wide. Goodness me. They're still battling away. That's Savrukin and Kayak both getting past the Birala.
Yeah, there you go. I was going to say that we're going to have a top 10 fixed until the end. We're having none of it, as this is the final lap. Final lap for this young man from Finland, for the Tony Kart racing team. Tuukka Tarponen, the last 1.5 kilometer of his career here in Campillos, on his way to his first world title.
Get ready in Finland. This is about to be history in the making as he sets another fastest lap. Tuukka Tarponen has taken control of the World Championship and has held it by the throat. Two drivers from Finland have been third in the World Championship in years gone by. Heikki Kovalainen in 2000 and Juho Valtonen in 2017. Aro Vanayo managed to get the runner-up spot in the World Championship in 2009 to Arnold Kozlinski in Macau. But no Finn has ever been FIA Karting World Champion in the direct drive category until this man will come through in 3 corners time to get the job done. He is the latest face in the Tony Kart Factory Team's senior battle. He has been exceptional. He has worked his craft. He has grinded all season. Now he's going to reap the benefits and the rewards. It's a wonderful achievement. It's a brilliant result. In the World Championship, Finland is triumphant. Tuukka Tarponen is the world champion. Amazing! What a result! Tuukka Tarponen has done it in style. The Finnish sensation, the new flying Finn. Tuukka Tarponen, victorious in Campillos. Magic!
Magic indeed, and the fireworks flying in the air of Karting Center Campillos to celebrate the achievement of Tuukka Taponen. What a masterful drive, punch in the air with joy and happiness for the entire Tony Kart racing team. Yet another world title for them in the OK class. What a masterful drive, and what a weekend it has been after last year's triumph and the triple at Portimao led by Callum Bradshaw. We have now Tuukka Taponen winning in Andalusia in front of David Lindblad and Luigi Caluccio. What a colourful podium that is. David Lindblad for Car Republic, Luigi Caluccio from the Cosmic Racing Department, and Tuukka Taponen under the new colours of 2022 of Tony Kart. A couple of years back, after the triumph and the world title of Marco Ardigo back in La Conca 2008, the new colours for next season, reminiscent as a sort of tribute to the history of this great team, one of the legendary names in the karting history books, and another chapter has been just written by Tuukka Taponen.
They've done it again. Tuukka Taponen wins for Tony Kart, the World Championship. Arvid Lindblad, a brilliant second, and Luigi Caluccio, a worthy third. Yuga Chukwu, Nicola Solov and Joe Turney in the top six from Artem Severukin, Christian Bratuka, Marcus Kayak and Reuben Moyer, Juho Valtonen, Pedro Hiltbrand, Olin Galli, Helen Nodadini and Oscar Pedersen.
Then we have in 16 Nicolas Pirtilati climbing 16 ranks through this field in front of Martinus Tenzorn, August Turbo, Joel Bergström, Daniel Briz, and Alfio Spina, Matteo De Paulo, Evan Gilter, Gabriele Gomez. Unfortunate turn of event for the young Brazilian, but with a lot of hopes for the years to come. Then we have Karol Pasiewicz, Rintaro Sato, Jessica Scoredo, Ariel Elkin, as well as Kasper Ackermann, Giovanni Trentin, Nicolo Coman, and Timotheus Kucharczyk. Among the retired drivers, Matheus Morgato, Rafael Camara, two Brazilians, Dante Andreas, and Lenny Reed.
There is Noah Millell picking up. Or is that Noah Millell? No, I think that might be his mechanic, actually. I do apologise. Tony Kart victorious, and they're going over to the army of green and white. Tuukka Taponen is the world champion of 2021. He is one of the nicest young men in FIA karting. He barely says a word. And I tell you what, this is a moment he's going to remember forever. He becomes the first man from Finland to win the World Championship in OK and in direct drive karting in history. Even Heikki Kovalainen, even Juho Valtonen, even Aro Vainio, even Valtteri Bottas or Kimi Raikkonen were not able to achieve this in their karting careers. But Tuukka Taponen is a history maker. He's done it.
I do hope those legends are watching right now, and if they're not, then I'm sure they will watch back what has been happening here in Campillos, and you can see how Tuukka Taponen, this has been a great effort for him, and it must be quite a bit tired after this very long race.
Do you know what? That's the widest smile I've ever seen him make. Such a quiet man, Tuukka Taponen, but yes, my friend, you are the new world champion. Drink it in. Not many men get to say that in the world of kart racing. For the hundreds of thousands of racers in the world who go karting, to win this is a big, big achievement. Luigi Caluccio congratulates his vanquisher. And there is Arvid Lindblad. He looks very disappointed, Arvid, but let's not forget how brilliant his season has been. He's never been off the podium in 2021. I don't think anybody has had as strong a success rate in karting this year as Arvid Lindblad has. Nobody has collected as many trophies. There is Juho Valtonen greeting his teammate and his mechanics. What an incredible achievement for young Tuukka as he takes his place in the FIA Karting Hall of Fame. Yuga Chukwu comes over to congratulate him. There's a lot of tired out racing drivers here in Campillos. That was a tough race. But Tuukka Taponen is the worthy world champion.
It's beautiful to see the congratulations and the applause that he receives from his fellow colleagues and drivers. We've seen Igor Guchuku, David Lindblad, and as well as the others. There's been a long race. It's been a difficult race, especially for this young man. But now he can rest. Now he can savor. These are the most important moments after such a beautiful achievement. This is now that you have to savor really and taste what it feels like to be the new world champion. And we're going to have the podium celebration in just a few moments. So Luigi Caluccio on your picture, congratulated as well by Juho Valtonen. As you can see, you can feel the fair play between the teams and the factories. This is competition. Nikola Tsolov coming as well for a handshake. It's been a hard race as well for Tsolov, running up the top 5 at the end. It's been also a very strong force throughout the championship. We'll get back to that. But you can see him actually. He's a bit on his own.
I'm not sure he can believe it.
He's in his bubble right now. But these are important moments that he needs to remember through the congratulations as well. but this is now, just before the podium, that he's starting to realize the achievement is just done here in Campillos, so that's very important for him.
He follows an incredible list of racing drivers to have won the World Karting Championship in the direct drive category for Tony Kart. Johnny Mislievich, Davide Fore, Marco Ardigo, Flavio Campaneschi and Callum Bradshaw. It's been an absolutely phenomenal journey for the Tony Kart Factory team. 25 years after their first World Championship success, they pick up another with Tuukka Tarpanen, the new Flying Finn. I think the future of Formula One for Finnish drivers is incredibly safe.
Yeah, we'll see in a few years' time, but this is taken for granted, and Tuukka Tarpanen has been absolutely dominant.
There's the moment.
The congratulations for the Tony Kart Racing team gathering around as they're going to gather in just a few moments at the foot of the podium. Please join us in a couple of minutes as we are about to congratulate not only Tuukka Tarpanen but also Javier Lindblad and Luigi Caluccio, top 3 finishers of the OK class in Campillos.
He can't stop smiling.
Yes,
look at
indeed.
him. I've never seen him smile so much in my whole life. Tuukka Tarpanen, he's one of the quietest, most gentle characters in racing, the nicest boy, and now he's become a man. Absolutely wonderful. This is a name you're going to remember for many years to come. Whatever he decides to pursue in motorsport, whether he stays in karting or switches disciplines, this is a hero for the ages and a name you won't forget in a hurry. Amazing from Tuukka Tarpanen. And he will join Arvid Lindblad and Luigi Caluccio on the podium. Full credit to Arvid Lindblad. Nobody has picked up, as I said before, as many trophies this season as Arvid Lindblad has. He's never been off an FIA karting podium in 2021. No other driver in the world can say that this year. An incredible year for the Red Bull Junior. And Luigi Caluccio back on the World Championship podium for the first time in 3 years. So great to see the Italian get back to where he belongs. But it was always going to be a tough race. It was always going to be about intelligence, smart thinking, and cool, calculated discipline. And that has had Tuukka Tarpanen written all over it this weekend. He is a worthy King of Kings.
King of Kings indeed. As for the top 3 of the OK class, actually it's good, really nice as well to see Luigi Caluccio back on the podium of an FIA karting events, and especially the World Championships. It actually brings back a lot of good memories back in 2018 at Kristianstad. It was actually one of the first World Championships that I had the pleasure of commentating alongside Jake Sensen, and at the time we had already Luigi Caluccio stepping on his first podium, the first of many at the time with the Birlart Racing team. The past few seasons has been of progress for Luigi Caluccio under the colors of the Cosmic Racing Department, but now is establishing himself more and more as one of the young names to follow for the years to come. Tuukka Tarpanen, Luigi Caluccio and Javier Lindblad, your top 3 finishers of the OK class. There's been a very hard race as well. A lot of big gaps have been built by those drivers through the 19 laps that we had. As you can see, the drivers making their way to the podium where we're going to have
the final podium ceremony of FIA Karting 2021. And what an incredible 3 drivers we're going to bring out after an exceptional weekend for the World Championship 2021. Let's bring them out. You've waited long enough. In 3rd position for the United Kingdom, Arvid Lindblad! The man who's never been off the podium in FIA karting in 2021. Nobody has collected more silverware than him. In 2nd position for Italy, Luigi Caluccio! Luigi's back on the podium in 2nd position in the World Championship. But ladies and gentlemen, your new world champion for Finland, Tuukka Tarpanen! And welcome to the podium for the Tony Kart Factory team, your team manager, Giacomo Alipandre! And in deference to our driver on the top step of the podium, the national anthem for Finland! What a World Championship podium, ladies and gentlemen. We will now ask our dignitaries to come forward, starting with Manuel Alonso, the president of the Federation of Andalusia. He will come forward to present the trophy to our man in third position. What a fantastic season. The clean sweep. All 5 weekends he's been on the podium and in absolutely fantastic fashion. So, third position, ladies and gentlemen, in the World Championship 2021 for the United Kingdom, Arvid Lindblad! And now we will ask Ignacio Avino, the karting president of the Spanish Federation, to come forward and present the trophy to our man in second position for Italy, Luigi Caluccio! And finally, for the drivers, we will ask the FIA karting president, Felipe Massa, to come forward and present the biggest trophy in karting to our new world champion from Finland, Tuukka Tappinen! And finally, we will ask Martin Ruvers, the organizer and track owner at Karting Center Campillos, to give the winning team their trophy to Tony Kart Racing, Giacomo Alipandri! A fabulous, fabulous day at the races here at Campillos. What a fantastic World Championship it has been here in Spain. Our drivers and manager will lift their trophies aloft. Ladies and gentlemen, Arvid Lindblad, Luigi Caluccio, and the new karting World Champion, Tuukka Tappinen! And now we will ask our esteemed guests once again to come forward, and we will have a fabulous team photo here in the FIA Karting World Championship. What a sensational end to the year. It has been absolutely sensational. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much indeed, Spain. You've been absolutely amazing, Campillos. Thank you so much. 4 weeks of notice and you've turned this around to make a magnificent, sensational World Championship event. Muchas gracias, Campillos! But now, ladies and gentlemen, our 3 heroes get to have the moment of glory that they've been waiting for. It's been a sensational year, but with the hardship comes the spoils of war. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get busy with the fizzy! What a sensational end to the 2021 karting season. It's been majestic. It's been thrilling. It's been nail-biting to the end. And what a fantastic end here at Campillos. Ladies and gentlemen, our 3 drivers on the podium once again. Arvid Lindblad, Luigi Caluccio, and the new karting world champion, Tuukka Tappinen! Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching FIA Karting in 2021. We will be back in the 2022 season as our championship year kickstarts. Follow us again on FIAkarting.com and we will be back for more brilliant battles in the toughest discipline of world motorsport. I'm Jake Sanson on behalf of myself, Guillaume Alvarez, the entire RGMMC team, the FIA and the whole of Karting Center Campillos. Muchas gracias and adios. Adios, amigos!
What does it take to be a Formula One driver? To be the most focused? To respect the rules? To be the quickest? To make a difference? Together we push forward health and safety innovations. We give our best to protect the environment. We stand against discrimination and fight for diversity. Promote motorsport and mobility around the world. To be a Formula One driver means to be committed. Together with the FIA, we are driven to help build a world that raises hope and enriches the lives of everyone, everywhere. Now we race for change. And we race because we are all purpose-driven.